can't take this thing. Okay, good morning. Good Friday morning to you. Well, it's not Good Friday, but good morning to you on a Friday. 9 a.m., July 19th. Get an actual voice. Yeah, my voice is coming through. Tim, we will deal with the CrowdStrike news. It is July 19th, 2024. Let's go first. Let's see which way I'll go. Oh, why did I click? I didn't want to click. Need to play that. Okay, here we go. Channel comments. Channel comments. Channel comments on here. Carrie Holzman chimed in again. Thank you so much, Carrie. This may help explain the M2 confusion a bit. He gives a link to a video of his from, I think it was 7 years ago. And I did watch through that, and I went chasing that whole subject some more. And I think my understanding has developed further. I still have some questions. You can't hear SpeakerBot, really? Really? Let's see. I'm going to put in this link to Carrie's video there. I'm not hearing SpeakerBot either. I checked to see that it was connected. It was connected to YouTube. Let's go show you. Yeah, it's connected there. So I think what I'll do there is close it and then relaunch it. And I'm expecting that when I relaunch it, it might not show connected to YouTube. That's the pattern I've seen before. And it's kind of a slow launcher. Let's see, it's gonna come up on this monitor. There it is, popping up finally. Look at platforms, YouTube account. Yeah, it's showing connected. Boy, I have partially connected 3 of 4. That's because I don't have Twitch anymore. Oh, let's see. Maybe it's this. No, command should be on. This cues is not paused. If I pause it, unpause it, go see if pending actions. There's no pending actions stacked up. Action history. July 19th, there's a whole bunch of stuff that claims to have played. If I go over here to TTS audio files, so if these actually played, the date and time of those are not today. Not today's date. Just stop doing all this fancy stuff. Go back to basics. Really? Now it says, oh, I'm not scrolled all the way up. Maybe that's all it was. Nope, still don't have July 19th. I'm kidding me. Right. Here's SpeakerBot. Sure where I want to go check on this. Accounts. It doesn't log into YouTube. Let's do a test over here. Go to actions. Come down to, I want something that talks, so I'll just yes. And do a right click here, test. I wonder if desktop audio. I had a problem with the microphone in that regard. Here's the OBS properties for desktop audio. Top audio should go out through, not the microphone, it should go out through my headphone. I had to specifically select my microphone this morning in OBS, even though my default was set correctly. No, Right, both of them. I restarted Big Beast Build shortly before starting the stream, 40 minutes before. We may just go without SpeakerBot. In the chat while I'm waiting for that to launch. I have been looking at the stories about whatchamacallit, CrowdStrike. Get to that. So here we have input microphone, output phones. Here, yes. Okay, and that showed up over here, event log. Was not found. Patrick was not found, so it's having problems finding some voices. Those voices, let's try a test speak.
This is a test message.
Okay, I heard that. 11 Labs, wait a minute, 11 Labs only has this number of voices? That's not right. That's not right. Let's see if we go to actions and go to chat message all. This is what you send out to me. If I tell that to use, no, really sure how to change that. Copy that and then type default. See if that gives me something.
Speedic12371 said
All right.
%raw input %.
Okay, then if I change it back.
Official Tim Tech said, hey DougBetts, God bless you, Bubba.
It back to what it's supposed to be. Does that work now? No. Oh, we'll go back to default and we'll just be on default voices today. FAULT. Spelling is not required, technicians. Really? That over there, move that over there. So go ahead and give me another test of default.
Lonely_kudzu_babe said %raw input %.
All right.
Brian Lightfoot said, hey SpeakerBot, where you been?
Yeah, I only changed that for !D. I didn't change that for all the others. The other ones that have a voices, sarcasm. I'll go ahead.
Official Tim Tech said, yay, it's fixed, boys. John Williams said it's good now.
Yeah, over here, and for this one, sarcasm alert, we'll change that to default too. So
Ken Stout Live said, wrong. Is this the Ken Stout Live show with all these speaker bot issues?
Yeah, I'm learning from you, Ken. Good golly, Miss Molly. Okay, let's see. So I did respond to Carrie's comment. Thank you again. Thumbs up and a heart. Don't need to give him a timestamp. And I'll check to see. Held for review. Last I checked, there was nothing there. Nothing there now. All right. Tim Cruz, 13,000 points.
Al J said,
awarded.
Is it CrowdStrike related?
Yeah, was that CrowdStrike related? No, it wasn't. Let's get this positioned right. Tim Cruz, I will award whatever number of points that I just announced. Because I was not aware of this until you gave me those links. I really ought to. When I asked my Amazon Echo device for my daily briefing,
Frosty Snowman without snow Winnipeg said, I've been fired from my job at CrowdStrike.
that was a joke, a sarcasm from Frosty Winnipeg. He was the source of the trouble. He was the one that caused it. But I looked at these links from Tim Cruz and said, oh, what's going on here? And then later I got the update from my Amazon Echo device when I asked for my daily briefing. So we'll go take a look at those. There are some misleading things in the news headlines about it, as always. That's going to happen. So I just took a quick glance through there. Tim says, yay, thank you for the points. Points are redeemable for a free vacation for 2, or expense paid vacation. Vacations aren't free, right? Somebody pays them. So expense
Martin Hawk
paid.
said, Doug, did you enjoy trip on London Tube driver's view?
The paid vacation, but you have to meet all of the criteria and qualifications that are never published, and you have to meet the deadline, which was half an hour before the show started. So, misleading news, inconceivable. Did you enjoy trip on London Tube driver's view? I watched that for a little bit, and sorry, I got bored. Not my bag. But thanks for sending it. You never know what's gonna work. So let's see. That's CrowdStrike's website. The whole world came to a halt thanks to a single software update. Wrong. Misleading. The whole world did not come to a halt. Computers around the world came to a halt, yes, but not every computer. So saying the whole world, that is over exaggerating and just sensationalizing a title. Computers around the world came to a halt. That'd be okay. The whole world, no. The whole world did not come to a halt. There were halts experienced all around the world in major ways, but not the whole world. This is where George Kurtz was speaking out, giving his apology, and these are the 3 links that Tim Cruz put in. Huge Microsoft outage linked to CrowdStrike takes down computers around the world. It's a little bit misleading because it was not just linked to CrowdStrike, it was caused by CrowdStrikes. And the only computers that experienced this problem were ones that were using CrowdStrike. So Microsoft outage, well, yeah, it crashed the Microsoft operating system. Linked, it was actually huge Microsoft outage caused by CrowdStrike. And it's only computers that were using CrowdStrike. Now, something that I have not seen yet was every single computer that had CrowdStrike installed crashed. That's going to be a surprise if that is the case, because that would imply that they didn't even do any beta testing in their home facility before sending out. I'm suspecting we may find, and I'm kind of hoping that we will find, that it was all the computers that had CrowdStrike as their security software and had some other commonality between them that CrowdStrike had not foreseen to test against. That would be a more plausible explanation. But as far as I know, that
Ken
kind of
Stout
detail
Live
hasn't
said,
been
what is
given.
this CrowdStrike?
Take that one. That call will have to go to, let's see, I'll give a message. Well, that's Peter. All right. And what is this CrowdStrike? It is a cybersecurity software, like you might have Malwarebytes or Norton antivirus, or it's an antivirus utility. It's a cybersecurity software that is used to protect computers, and it goes further than the typical antivirus software. So to give you a little bit of a tour of that, fastest mean time to detect, highest detection coverage. Let's go over here to view bundles and pricing. And they have Falcon Pro, which is $99.99 per year per device. $185 per year per device for the Enterprise Edition. The Elite Edition, you have to contact them. If you need to see the price for that, then you probably can't afford it. It's a high-end, very broad cybersecurity product that you can think about, like maybe antivirus on steroids and above that.
Gary Weisenberger said we do not use CrowdStrike, but one of our shippers lost contact with their ocean-going vessels.
Yeah, okay. That was probably caused by some computer in that chain of communications that did use CrowdStrike. I don't see any problem with that message you just retracted, Jim. Did I say enough about CrowdStrike thing? I mean, there were, where do we, let me take that off. There was some place here where I had some, well, there was news coverage. Of course, news stations covered it, and they showed scenes in airports and subways and people, somebody was sitting in an elevator because the elevator wouldn't operate. So apparently it was
Jim
really
KJ3N said $100 per year, per device?
affected
No
massive
way,
number of people.
Jose.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. He gave it back to us. Just back to us. I don't know why he took that away earlier. $100 per year per device. No way, Jose. Yeah. It's for the people who are real targets of a cyber attack. Airlines, mass transit, 911 services that were down. In those environments, $100 per year per device is fine. Okay, where to go to next? Whoops, I need to do that one. Let's come over here to chat messages, because I think that really covers CrowdStrike as far as what we know so far. There might be more to talk about tomorrow about it. I have some chat comments from yesterday. Randy Israel, when I saw his comment during the show, I didn't catch it. Shaving haircut, oh well, was worth a try. My proper response would have been 2 bits. And it didn't occur to me at the time. I knew there was something about shaving a haircut, but I didn't think of it till afterwards. And then, okay, new rule, whatever works for Roger Rabbit works for Doug as well. So then I realized, well, does Roger Rabbit have something to do with shaving a haircut? I knew that shaving a haircut from musicals. Not from Roger Rabbit, but when I did a Google search for that, yeah, Roger Rabbit has a connection with shaving a haircut. They used that line, and I went down that rabbit hole without being a Roger Rabbit fan. I went down the rabbit hole of chasing this shaving a haircut to see where that originated from. That was an interesting story. The thing that was surprising. There, I used my hold on mute button. Hold mute button. The thing that was surprising that I did not know about shaving a haircut 2 bits is its connection with this dock. Shave and a haircut 2 bits. I have used that knock a lot in my life. I never knew that it was connected to that shave and a haircut 2 bits jingle or meme or whatever we call it. So, there. Ran Israel, 13,500 points. Awarded. Don't forget to redeem that 30 minutes before today's show. Oystein, hi Doug and everyone. Nice light show in the background. And I'm put that because, I don't know, as people notice that it is voice responsive to my voice. And I have to have the microphone turned on from here through the app for those GoV lights for that to work. If I turn that app off, then it's overwhelmed by the fan noise back there.
Read chat, please.
Telemarketer. Chat, please. We'll go see what that's all up about. And Israel, shaving a haircut reference. He's given a YouTube video. I went down that rabbit hole yesterday. Plenty enough. Yes, I did.
Gary
and I did find
Weisenberger
that.
said 2 bits I wish. In 1933.
Yeah, in 1933, maybe it was 2 bits. Shaving a haircut. Because that meme goes back that far. And it goes back, it predates Roger Rabbit. And I've been, somebody did something in chat or comments months ago that took me to the Roger Rabbit videos. And yeah, I can hardly watch through a few minutes of that. Not my thing. Cultural references and Doug do not intersect. Some of them do. Some of them don't. But even the ones that I know, I typically forget about. Coming back, catch up on comments. So light show done. Chris, scared. I love this laptop so much. I may keep using it after Windows 10 support and pay for Windows 10 updates. I will see how that goes when time gets here. The reason why I captured that, this was a laptop that Chris had found that had been misplaced for a long period of time. He told us about that yesterday. But I just want to say, Chris, you could use, you are technician enough that you could use that laptop with Windows 10 without paying for the updates if you use proper mitigations, which means have no data on it, that if somebody infiltrates it, it would matter. You could have it on an isolated Wi-Fi network so it isn't able to connect to your other computers. You could use it for limited purposes, such as watching videos. Don't go downloading somebody's free software, free utilities to do this, that, or the other thing. You could use a standard user account, not a Windows admin account. So there are mitigations you could take that I think I wouldn't argue against you continuing to use it. Don't have any of your remembered passwords for your accounts on it. Don't have any shortcuts on the browser that would take you to an account that you have that you care about. So if you love that computer for a certain purpose, and that purpose you can be contained within that, and you use some other computer that is current and up to date, and I don't see a reason to pay for that. Now, some people will disagree with me and jump up and down, and you can listen to their advice and choose your own path. Ran Israel double groove is for SATA and NVMe 2 lanes. It's meant to prevent the installation of NVMe by 4 lanes. And yes, that comment made sense through my rabbit hole squirrel chase yesterday. And that clarification in particular, double groove would be for an NVMe that is limited to 2 lanes. And that explains why there was, back in the past when I was first seeing that, I'd see, okay, here's an NVMe that has 2 notches. Therefore, NVMe has 2 notches. No, only when it's 2 lanes. Now, I'm not certain that I got everything right about the variation on M.2. Really, what I discovered yesterday is there are more variants than I realized. X2 means 2 lanes instead of 4 lanes, just like in PCI slots. And it is talking about the PCIe lanes. It's not NVMe that has 2 lanes or 4 lanes. It's an NVMe that uses PCI by 2 or PCI by 4. PCI that has the lanes issue, as I understand at this point in time. Ken Stout, new computer build alert. All parts will be here on Saturday. Live stream build on Sunday, not 4 hours in length. Yesterday when I read that, I made the mistaken assumption. I realized
Israel
afterwards.
said you are correct.
Thank you, Ram. After yesterday's show, I realized that I misread that comment. He was not promising that it would be less than 4 hours. He was promising it wouldn't be 4 hours. That could mean it's going to be 6 hours or 8 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours and 5 minutes. It's just not going to be 4 hours. That's all he's saying there. Danielle Emberly, I ran into the window account problem. Changes made on Windows tablet ended up on my Windows PC. I have never seen an occasion where OneDrive by default turns on the synchronization for backing up the desktop items or even the documents or the videos. I've always had to go in and configure that. Now, after the show yesterday, it dawned on me that possibly if you start up a new computer, sign in with the Windows account, Microsoft account, Microsoft account, and if it does indeed automatically engage OneDrive, it might automatically engage the backups of desktop and documents and videos and photos as we were told in that article. However, if it sees on your Microsoft account that you're already, or on your OneDrive account that you're already synchronizing with another computer, will it be smart enough to not do that? That would be a good foresight on Microsoft's part. They haven't thought of that yet. Of course, 3 of their technicians watch my show every day. Maybe this will give them that idea. Checking to see if my nose grew longer with that comment. I think the majority of home users buying a computer in a big box store will wind up using any email address for their MS account. I disagree with that because I think the majority of home users, now, Greg, you may be on the same page with me as I explain this. When they start up the computer, it's going to insist on a Microsoft account. And I think, yes, they will do that, but I think they will not realize that they could use their Gmail account or their Yahoo account as their Microsoft account. I think if they click through those links, they're probably going to wind up creating an Outlook.com account or and what are the other ones? The other Microsoft-based accounts, because I think that's what that process will default to. Don't think it's obvious that they can use any email address for the identity of their Microsoft account, even if it's never previously been associated with the Microsoft account. Also, a problem they'll run into, if they do try using an email address that they already have, it might prompt them for a password, and it may reject that password because maybe sometime in the past they have used that email address for an Xbox account or some other device that's based in Microsoft, and that they do already have an account with Microsoft using an email address that is not a native Microsoft email account, and that they've totally forgotten what that password is. So that's a problem they can run into too. Big frustration. Frosty Winnipeg, I've seen on a new install Windows 11 where your OneDrive account was logged in with your Microsoft account, but it was not set up for folders yet. Yeah, it's always the way I've seen it. Now, typically, I would have a computer signing into Windows with a local account, but I would have it signed in with a Microsoft account for their Microsoft 365 programs, Word and Excel and so forth. I'll have that signed in. Then when I go look at the OneDrive account, it knows the account name. And even if I go ahead and sign it in, it still does not set up the backup of those folders until I manually do it. And the normal end user would not know to do that. It would never be, it's never brought up. It's never suggested. Well, maybe in a too minor of a way. Lawn Dog, I'm sure there's a way to disable OneDrive. You can do it in startup. At least you can right now. Yes, you can disable in startup. You could right click on the taskbar, go to Task Manager, go to the startup items, and it's this one here. And you could disable OneDrive from in here. OneDrive right there. You could right click on it and disable. On a computer that I'm never intend to use OneDrive and it's a slower performing computer, I'll do Windows key R app whiz and uninstall OneDrive, because with future Windows updates, if you still have OneDrive installed, it still may pop up and prompt you to do something. Where is it listed on here anyway? Microsoft OneDrive. You remove it, uninstall it from there. Now, still possible some Windows update might reinstall it, but I don't know that that happens. So Gary said M.2B slot, this is from yesterday, M.2B key slot supports SATA and PCI protocol. That would be the 2 lanes, the X2 PCIe. I understand it now. The M key, which has 1 slot on the right as you're looking in towards the socket that you're going to put the M.2 plugged into, can take SATA PCIe by 2 or by 4 and NVMe protocols. Well, NVMe is using PCIe. So can't have NVMe without using PCIe. PCIe is the technology of the motherboard and the NVMe that is utilized on SATA M.2s. It's a SATA M.2, and it uses the SATA technology of the motherboard. SATA M.2s use the SATA technology of the motherboard. NVMe M.2s use the PCIe technology, and that might be using X2 or X4, as in the number of lanes. But then the generation, now here, NVMe gen means number of PCI lanes, not necessarily speed of transfer. My understanding at this point, it would seem I came to an understanding that said that generation was different than the PCI 2 lanes or 4 lanes, because generation is associated with PCIe, and the NVMe has to be capable of that. PCIe can be various different generation numbers, but I don't think it's just 2 and 4, is it? Lanes is just 2 and 4, but isn't generation have some other numbers? That's the piece that I didn't get around to. Daniel Emberley, can OneDrive really help idiot errors? If you delete something, doesn't sync, delete from the cloud OneDrive folder. Yes, but any older version, storage snapshots like a backup program. OneDrive, you can go back to prior versions of any file that is still present in OneDrive. When you delete a file, it deletes it in OneDrive, but that moves it, I'm 90% sure, to a deleted files folder, a recovery folder. So I think they use a different name for it, but you can get it back after you've deleted it. So some people argue that OneDrive is not a backup. Well, it is a backup protection for certain types of losses. It's not really a full, complete backup solution, but there are many times that I've used OneDrive to recover something because it is instantaneous.
Gary Weisenberger said skip to today about storage.
Skip today about storage. I don't understand that comment. Skip today about storage. I don't understand, Gary. Yeah, okay, let me get back to this OneDrive issue. When somebody makes, I've had people make a change to a document in Microsoft Word, and they accidentally did it wrong, and they realize they need to go back to the version from an hour ago. Your nightly backup does not have that because they've made other changes along the way. So they've made multiple edits through the day. I can go back to a certain time of day to recover the document. And the backup that some people argue, no, OneDrive's not a backup, you have to do this. Well, that form of backup that they're doing to an external drive or a cloud or whatever is not going to have all those incremental changes through the day, but OneDrive will. So there are places where OneDrive is the answer to a person's problem or pain. Ran Israel, wrong. Generation and number of lanes are two separate things. Yeah, this is where Ran Israel, I think, was disagreeing with this. Generation and number of lanes are two separate things. For example, Generation 4, 2 lanes, is the same speed as Generation 3 with 4 lanes. That makes total sense. Did Gary explain skip to today? I leave the same time every haircut time all year on Friday. I leave the same time every haircut time all year on Fridays. Pick up stuff. Okay, I'm not going to try to understand that now. There was something else I needed to get to. I do have a redirect set up for Carrie Holzman's Friday show today, which is part 2 of the Musetex, whatever way you want to pronounce that, ATX PC build. Now, there's something else I wanted to hit on. Not going to remember it. It's not in there, not in there. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm a little wacko. Maybe I did cover what I wanted to cover. Okay. So let's do. I discovered the problem with that commands button where I told you that I pressed this green commands button but it's also labeled deceptively wrong. It says green is on, meaning you can do commands, and black is off, meaning they can't do commands. And when I pressed it, it turned green, which is actually turning the commands on. Well, it turns out that I have to activate and deactivate this button before the show starts or sometime during the show, or it just won't work right. So there's Stormy. So here I'm turning that off. So that should stop you. That should stop you messing with me. Then next is the end screen, end live button. Show for tomorrow. Planning to do that. Planning, among other possible things, doing that uBlock origin script to return my YouTube watch page to normal so that I have a way to go back and forth, but still I'm liking the new system. So there you go. You can watch this video, see how to get free support through this channel. You can watch this video, see how to get paid support from me directly and privately. This video will show how to turbocharge your troubleshooting experience by interacting with the channel. And this is a video that YouTube thinks is good for you to watch, probably a recent one. Have a good Friday, everybody. And happy Saturday. Happy New